There a more difficult command to follow than love your enemies? I think this is important to wrestle with, especially in this time, as people more and more take up sides and draw together those who agree with them and look at whoever's on the other side. And there's this war of words, of attitudes. And in the midst of an environment like this, Jesus turned to his followers and said, love your enemies. But he didn't just say that, because I think the average person knows that, even if they don't go to church. That's what Jesus taught, love people. But I think what that means gets clouded. A lot of times I think loving means I just don't react to them, or I don't say mean things in front of them. But he goes on and clarifies, and he's still ultimately talking about love, but he clarifies what this looks like. He says, do good to your enemies. See, that's not passive. That's active. In other words, go out of your way to look for opportunities to be a blessing to your enemy. You know, that person that's driving you crazy at work, that person that's driving you crazy on social media, that neighbor that's driving you crazy, whatever it may be, go out of your way to do something good for them. And just in case I'm not clear, Jesus says, I also want you to lend to them. When they have a need and they come to you after all their abuse and they come to you with this need, you are to give with them. And not only that, you're to love them, do good to them, lend to them, and not expect anything in return. Ouch. Talk about having to have an attitude and a spirit of humility. But in essence, that's exactly what he's calling us to be like the Father. And he reminds us that this is the Father's attitude, who blesses the wicked. This is the Father's attitude, who loved us so much that while we were sinners, his enemies, Christ died for us, gave his life for us. Love is active. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't speak about just issues. Jesus spoke about just issues. But he also, in conjunction with that, refused to look at those that resisted him as just his enemies that needed to be slaughtered or gotten rid of or ignored. He still died for them too. He still called them unto the Father. He still brought them the good news. And we are to do the same. In one way, this environment right now is a really, really tough environment. But in another way, it's our time to shine. It's our time to reach across whatever line there is, arbitrary or real, and show active love. And I'm not talking about this ooey gooey feeling. I'm talking about the humility to say, I'm going to treat you like a valued human being. And for that, we will receive the best reward. Well done, child. Well done, good and faithful servant. And maybe, just maybe in the process, some unexpected person that you love with the love of Christ will find Christ themselves. May you keep your eyes on Jesus, and may you walk in the dust of the Master.